So, Laurie, you and I were chatting on the phone the other day,
Yep.
and you were telling me that you've spent thousands of dollars on coaching and mentoring and that sort of thing.
Yes.
And no benefit.
No change, no
No
real
change.
change in my working life or my home life
Or level of happiness.
No, nothing. Zero. I would say zero factor for all of it.
Okay. So now we're going to do a session today, more or less 1 hour, and we're not going to take care of all your life problems.
No.
In 1 hour, but we're going to choose one pattern or one thing that goes on in your life, one memory that bothers you, and see what we can do with it.
Okay.
So without any promises, we're just going to work
Right.
on it, and maybe a little different approach than anything you've been accustomed to doing in the past.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you told me briefly that it had to do with responsibility.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Well, I think, and when I really analyze, and I have other people say this to me, like, family, you're always feeling too responsible. So, I feel responsible to finish things. If I say I'm going to do things, I will do them, no matter, if it's killing me, I'll finish it. Being firstborn, looking after 3 brothers, I was always had to be the responsible one, right? In my marriage, I had to be responsible. I can't save the world, but sometimes I feel like I'm responsible. I need to do something. Even if it's costing me money, inconvenience, whatever, I still feel the sense of responsibility that I need to do something, or, as I have in the past, complete what I say I'm going to complete. So I have a strong sense of responsibility.
So on the surface, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful to have a strong sense of responsibility. We all want to have people like that in our lives.
Right.
So what is it about that is hurting you in your life?
Well, I think I self-sabotage.
In what way?
Because I feel so responsible for other things or other people or other issues that I don't look after myself fully. Like, I'll compromise myself in terms of my time, work, health. And I'm just throwing this out there because I'm just kind of guessing, but I think it affects me in personal and business and health ways.
So it sounds like a more general type of thing, a sort of lifestyle type of pattern that you've developed over time. So
it could be because when my kids were in their teens, I learned then that I had to stop controlling them. I was responsible for them. I learned, and then I had to stop controlling them. So it was hard to let go of trying to control my children's behavior.
Do you think that there's a connection between taking on so much responsibility and being in control?
Oh, absolutely, because when you're the oldest, I think you're always expected to be in control and be responsible. When you have children, I think mothers always feel that they have to be responsible and in control. And it's hard letting that go so that you can focus either on your own health, your work, your marriage, whatever, right? Because you're so busy focusing on them. And if you don't let go of them, they're never going to grow. Right. They're not going to become independent children. Right. So
what happened recently in your life to make you say this is what you want to work on today? I mean, you're given an hour, so why this?
Well, after we talked, I was trying to think of things, because it's hard to pinpoint one thing. Like, for example, I rescued a dog from Animal Love Foundation. And I guess I was thinking of that because my son said, that's ridiculous. If he was here for a couple of days, that's one thing. He's turning your world upside down. He's eaten your best sandals. He's dug 5 holes in the front yards. You now have 2 dogs to walk. You've wrecked your right shoulder. You can't save and that's what he said to me, you can't save the world. There's a million of them out there like that. And, to me, if you can make a difference one step at a time, it feels good. But I also realized that he was right. It was interfering with my work, with my health, with my stress levels, dealing with 2 dogs instead of 1, trying to train 1 dog that came to me untrained, that type of thing.
Okay. At what stage of your life did you take this on, that you needed to be responsible?
I was 13 when I had to make full meals for the family and be the chief bottle washer, babysitter, cook. So 13 on, I would say.
And you talked about level of emotional intensity. when you think about this, when you think you're 13 years old, you're taking on all this responsibility, which really is the responsibility of an adult, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've taken it on too soon. You should be carefree at 13. What's the level of emotional intensity that you can come to your family?
What, going back to that moment or now?
Going back to that moment.
Oh, I hated it. I hated being responsible, and I made my brothers pay for it.
So on a scale of 0 to 10, was it a 10?
Of hate, of like disliking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, an 8 to 10.
8 to 10. And
Yeah.
today, when you look back on it, today, realizing what it's done to you and how you're under stress because of that.
Do I look back? I just look back now as it's a fact of life. 4, 5. You know, I had to do it. I was the oldest. I don't hate it as much now as I did then, but you hate everything when you're 13. It was an 8.
Taking away your happiness it has a negative impact on your life.
The sense of responsibility, yes. But when I look at the fact that I was the oldest and only girl, and that's what families did, when I look back, I see that. Doesn't necessarily mean I was happy with it,
right?
But I see that as being the norm.
Right. When you think today of the stress that having to take on so much responsibility, taking on this dog,
Yep.
I guess you've taken on responsibility for your mother with Thanksgiving coming up.
Yep.
And you're a little stressed about that.
Yeah, well, she can be stressful to travel with, right? She can be stressful to have around, as helpful as she likes to be. She can be stressful, right?
Right, so this is causing some stress. So when you think about this now, what's the level of emotional intensity you can get to?
In terms of goodness, or
In terms of how you feel.
I mean, I feel a little stressed going away and not working, because I always think I should be working, right? Because that's being responsible. But I'm also looking forward to the train trip with her and seeing my relatives and that type of thing. So I'd say 7, 8.
7, 8?
Yeah, it'll be good for me to get away, because it's the only time I seem to be able to really not think about work is when I'm physically out of my office. So it'll be good in a lot of respects, but by the time 5 days are over, I'll be ready to come home.
I should have had you here 5 days from now.
Yeah, just to see the difference, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to call this issue responsibility. What's the negative connotation?
Responsibility.
What is it that it's done to you? Do you feel it's self-sabotage?
Well, I think that when you have a strong inherent sense of responsibility that you don't even really know it's there until you actively think about something, that you obviously put other people before you, or other things or other issues, which isn't necessarily good. And in my own mind, since I've been on my own now for 10 years, I really thought that I'd come much further ahead in terms of, you know, doing my own schedule, doing my own thing, eating when I want, going where I want to, when I want to, without talking to anyone else about it.
Right.
So it's being responsible for myself, right? Rather than having to be responsible for everybody else. So I see some positive things in that, and then I'm focusing more on me instead of other people. But, you know, I have taken the odd broken-winged bird under you know, my wing, and had them suck me dry, financially and otherwise. And so it's really trying to determine who's of value and who's not using you either, right? Because your family can use you, your friends can use you.
Why does a person allow herself to be used?
Well, because I think it makes you feel good. You feel like the older sister, or you feel like you're helping.
Oh, so it's coming from nourishing yourself.
Yeah, because I think you are nourished.
See,
When you help other people, I think you do feel nourished. It's like giving something away.
Right,
Makes you
so
feel
you
better.
give of yourself,
Right.
you feel nourished, but then you're telling me in other contexts, you've told me all the stress and tension that it engenders.
Right. Well, there's some situations where I've given nourishment to some friends where it's reciprocated. And then I've had 1 or 2 issues with friends where it hasn't been reciprocated. You know, they needed nourishment, I nourished them, and it turned out to be totally detrimental to me in the end. So that's a couple of situations. So maybe it boils down to, in terms of my sense of responsibility, I'm not always a good judge of character in terms of situations and my own limitations of time and money. you know what I mean, when I'm dealing with people. Because I want to nourish them, I seem to think that I can kind of save them, right? And some can be saved, some want to be saved, some don't want to be saved, they want to suck
Okay,
you
so
dry.
when you think of that statement, that belief, that, what did you say? It's good to save people. What did you say? It's a good feeling to save people.
Well, it's a good feeling to help people, to nourish them, nourishes you, right?
You used the word save a moment ago.
I can't recall exactly. I mean, I guess save them from whatever they're going through. So if they're going through emotional trauma or an ill child or financial stress, if you can save/help them in any way by, you know, giving them a place to stay, feeding them, loaning them money, that type of thing. But again, that's a sense of responsibility that not everybody will take on, right? So
Nothing wrong with that, as long as the other side of that isn't that you feel neglected or you feel.
no, and in most situations, I would say I haven't, but there's been a couple of situations where I have, and my marriage included, right?
Okay.
So, and with a couple of issues with friends. So now I'm trying to learn to be more guarded and less responsible, which makes me feel like I'm unconscionable. But Josh Schuchter used to always say that to me. That's not being unconscionable. That's just being self-sufficient, looking after yourself.
Right. Okay. Let's work on one or two specific memories then of times that you were responsible, but it came back and bit you. So that you ended up feeling, what?
Betrayed,
Betrayed.
hurt,
Okay.
disbelief.
And that's a little bit of a pattern.
I don't know what dictates a pattern. You know, I can see that certainly was the way in my marriage. I've had a couple of issues with friends like that, but I wouldn't say it's a monthly, yearly pattern either. But I still would say inherently there's this sense of responsibility that I have to keep pushing away or pushing down, and just say focus on yourself, stop focusing on other things. But I find when I focus on other things, it gives me joy, you know, makes me feel good. So it's self-nourishing in a way, if you pick the right projects to work on, right? So so I wouldn't necessarily say it's a pattern, but maybe it is, and I just don't recognize it, right?
I'm grappling with what are we going to work on that we can resolve within this time frame, because you say to me you want to save the world, then when I question you why, you say no, I don't want to save the world, you change it. And then when
Yeah.
we were talking about on the phone the other day, you were saying the situation with your mother had you all stressed, and so you're coming in and saying, no, I'm not stressed, I'm looking forward to 5 days.
Well, I vacillate, right? Because it's the way I manage, right? Like I'll feel really stressed 1 minute, and then I try to focus on something else to de-stress. Like I was all stressed before I came here, and I didn't want to be late because I had to help her with her hair, and she's getting ready to go, and all the rest of it. So I think it's just how I deal with it. It's stressful, but I'm suppressing it, or I'm not trying to consciously still keep thinking about the issues. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's just what I do, unconsciously. So I mean, how do you, and you said you couldn't do this in an hour, I mean, really, how do you get rid or help someone deal with an inherent sense of responsibility?
Well, if the person sees the inherent sense of responsibility as a good thing, then why do you want to get rid of it?
Well, sometimes it's a good thing. That's the
What's
issue.
the flip side? When does it become not a good thing?
When it starts to affect, you know, when I say my work, my personal life, my stress levels, my health, that's when a sense of responsibility to me is negative.
So it's your inability to distinguish.
Yes, because I seem to let things go longer than they should before I actually think I'm on a treadmill going insane here, and why don't I just stop it? But I don't seem to be able to get that right away.
Okay. Was there an episode ever with your mother where you took on responsibility and you ended up ticked off or feel that you were self-sabotaging or unhappy?
I mean, I can remember in my teens dealing with my parents' constant fighting, and my dad was quite violent. So I felt like the parent then consoling her. But at the time, I didn't necessarily. I felt like I had to step in, or my father was going to kill my mother, right? So, do I think about that? Not really, but that stuff's got to be embedded in there somewhere, right? That as soon as someone's.
What's your earliest memory of your father's violence?
I was about 12 or 13. So.
Can you remember an episode?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Would you like to work on that episode?
Sure.
When you think back on it now, what's the level of emotional intensity? 0 to 10. 0 being
10.
It's a 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll call that what? Family violence?
Yeah, or making the sandwiches. That's what it was about.
Making the sandwiches.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mother was making our lunches. Yeah.
But it's somehow you stepping in and being responsible.
Yes.
Okay.
Like responsible for saving it, or
responsible for saving someone.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say we represent that as a tree.
Okay.
Okay, we're telling your mind that's a tree.
Right.
What happens when you dig a tree out by the roots?
Kill it.
You kill it.
Right.
Okay. So that episode, that we're going to represent that as a tree.
Okay.
Now, when you go back in memory to that time, you were 12 or 13 years old, is it a picture that you see? Is it?
Hey, it's a picture. It's a
picture.
Yeah.
So what is the picture?
I hear fighting. I come down the steps. It was an old house, so you could sit on the steps and listen without being seen. And then I could feel the situation was escalating. So then now I'm peering over the railing, and I can see that my mother is making lunches, and she's got a butter knife, and that my father has her by the wrists, and he's pulling the knife out of her hand. But between the scuffling, it looks like he's almost threatening her with the knife now. It was only a butter knife or whatever at the time. So that was all escalating, and then it wasn't until I came down the stairs and intervened, like they thought we were all in bed sleeping, right? So it wasn't until I came downstairs that everything stopped, because of course now a little kid is in the room, right?
Okay. So in your picture, are you looking outside the frame at the picture, or are you in the frame? Are you there?
I'm looking in, I'm outside the frame.
You're outside the frame. Yeah. Okay. So what is the fear? What's going through your head?
That my father's going to kill my mother.
Going to kill my mother. And that's 10. Okay. I don't know if we talked about the tapping that we're going to be doing, that you're going to need to remove your glasses.
No, and that's fine. That's fine. You did mention tapping, but I've never heard of it.
Okay,
so
if you would remove your glasses.
Now?
Yeah. And we're going to be getting into the fear, and we're going to get rid of it.
Okay.
With the tapping. That is the goal of the tapping. We're going to bring it from your memory. We're going to bring it to the surface, and hopefully have you relive that episode for the last time, so that it's gone from your subconscious mind.
Okay.
And we will attempt to replace it with something happy. But first of all, we want to get to the root of that memory. Okay.
So does it matter that there are other memories attached to that same violence? Would the same thing happen?
We will get at it. We will attempt to get at it if we can within this time frame.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So for the time being, then you're back in the memory, you're back in this picture.
Right.
And you're in the present time, you're looking inside at the picture, right? And you're afraid that your father's going to harm your mother.
Right.
Okay. So what level is that fear?
10.
It's a 10? Okay. So I want you to really call it up, and I want you to allow yourself to feel that fear that you felt when you were 12 or 13 years old, okay? We're going to feel it for the last time, okay? Call it into memory. What are you seeing?
I just see the two of them in our kitchen, and just the fighting, and I can't remember every single word that was said, right? But I know that sitting there, I was pretty
pretty afraid.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have you tap in here. I release and let go of the fear.
I have to say that?
I release.
I release and let go of the fear.
Yeah, side of the eye. I release and let go of the fear.
I release and let go of the fear.
Side of the eye. I release and let go of the fear.
I release and let go of the fear.
I release and let it go.
I release and let it go.
I'm safe now.
I'm safe now.
Go ahead. I'm gonna have this thumb and the third finger points under the collarbone points to the
Right
shoulders before we started. I release and let go of the fear.
I release and let go of the fear.
I let it go.
I let it go.
It's perfectly safe to let it go.
Perfectly safe to let it go.
I'm safe now.
I'm safe now.
And then wrist, you're going to take your, just press that in.
Like right in the middle center of my wrist?
Yeah, the whole thumb is crossing the wrist.
Okay.
Okay. I let go of the sense of responsibility.
I let go of the sense of responsibility.
I am not responsible.
I am not responsible.
I'm only 12 or 13 years old.
I'm only 12 or 13 years old.
I am not responsible for what goes on in that kitchen.
I'm not responsible for what goes on in that kitchen.
Let go of fear.
The fear.
Let go of fear.
Oh,
I
the
want
fear.
you to really let yourself feel it, okay? And so you're there in the picture.
Yeah, I can.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
Let it go. 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 Is it still a 10?
No, because I don't know if it's, my recollection of it was a 10.
Okay. Let go the fear.
Okay.
Let go any feelings of helplessness I may have felt when I was 13.
Okay.
Let go the helplessness.
Okay.
Under that, let go the hopelessness.
Hopelessness.
And the collarbone points, let go the feeling that I'm responsible for the world. I am not responsible.
I am not responsible.
I'm just a child.
I'm just a
I'm
child.
a teenager.
I'm a teenager.
I should be out there playing.
I should be out there
I
playing.
should be out there just having fun,
Yep.
right? I'm not there to save the world.
I'm not there to save the world.
Let go of the belief that for the rest of my life, I'm going to have to save the world from itself.
I'm going to let go of the belief that I don't have to save, that I'm not responsible for saving the world from itself.
All those broken wings,
All those broken wings will have to find a new person.
yeah, let go of the feeling that I've got to save that dog.
Really? Let go of the feeling of saving that dog.
Let go of the feeling that I have to save that dog. Let go of the feeling that I've got to rescue everybody from themselves.
Yeah.
People who get into trouble, they get into financial trouble under the eye.
Yep.
Just release and let it go.
Yeah.
I'm not responsible for
I'm not
people's-
responsible.
for people's lives.
Situations. I'm not
Situations.
responsible for the dog situation,
I'm
right?
not responsible for the dog situation. Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. Like, I hear, why am I the one to have to take my mother on vacation for 5 days?
Well, because my brothers won't.
Because my brothers won't. So, I take it all on. Right?
Yeah.
I do it even though it isn't maybe the right thing for me. And then I make all sorts of excuses around it to
Yep.
make it okay.
Yep.
I say, well, my brothers won't.
Well,
I
she's
say,
my
well, I'm gonna
mother.
have a really good time.
Yeah.
I hate taking away 5 days from my business, but hey,
But don't I deserve it
but
too?
don't
the
I
next...
deserve 5 days? So I've become very, very good at making all sorts of excuses to justify what I do.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Let it go. Release and let it go.
Yep.
It's absolutely safe for me to release the need to be responsible for every broken wing.
Yep. Yep. I need to be less responsible.
People make choices and decisions for their own life right under the eye of the Lord. I don't have to be responsible for everybody.
No, I don't have to be responsible for everybody.
Let go of the feeling that I need to. I felt I had to save my mother.
Yeah, I did.
That moment is gone. That happened when I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
That is a long, long time ago, and it's safe to let it go.
Yeah.
I'm a good person, even if I don't go out and save the world.
I'm a good person even if I don't go out and save the world.
I'm a good person. I'm a good person. It's okay to enjoy my own life.
It's okay to enjoy my own
It's
life.
okay to enjoy my home space without inviting every Tom, Dick, and Harry
Harry
who
in.
has a life problem
Yeah.
into my home.
It's
And putting
okay.
stress on me so that I can't even do my business to the extent that I want to do it.
Yeah, yeah, it's okay to live
And
alone.
develop all sorts of financial problems because I'm not putting the amount of time into my business because
That's
I'm
right.
letting everybody take up my time.
That's right. That's right. I've got to stop
That
letting
feeling
people.
that I've got to do that in order to be a good person.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I just have to look after myself.
I have to get
Right?
I am not proving anything to anybody
No, I just
by
need
being
to
a
focus.
doormat.
No, I just need to focus on myself.
Let it go. Release and let it
Let
go.
it go.
I give myself permission to let it go.
I give myself permission. Let it go.
It's okay to let it go.
Okay, let it go.
Maybe I started this pattern when I was 12 or 13 years old, but that's a long time ago.
Yes, it is.
And I'm committing myself to not letting that happen
I'm
anymore.
committing myself to myself. Right?
Now what I'd like you to do, so on a scale of 0 to 10, where's that feeling now?
In terms of the intensity,
Mm-hmm.
probably 3 or
Okay.
4.
So how do you know it's a 3? What's that 3 feeling all about?
Well, it feels less serious, though it is a serious incident, but it feels less.
What makes it still a 3? Is it the words that you're hearing?
Well, I think it's that it happened makes it a 3.
Just that it happened?
Yeah, that it.
Okay, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let go of that 3 feeling.
Does it have to go down to a 0?
Let go that 3 feeling.
Let go of the
That's
3.
our goal. Let it go. We don't force it, but that's our goal. Let it go. I'm perfectly safe to let it go.
I'm perfectly safe to let it go.
I'm perfectly safe to feel nothing anymore about that episode. It hasn't. It's done.
Okay,
It's gone.
it's done.
Maybe when I was 13, I felt I had to be responsible.
Yep,
But that was the decision of a 13-year-old.
that's true.
I'm not 13 anymore.
I'm not 13
I
anymore.
can change my mind.
I can change my mind, thank goodness for that.
Uh-huh.
Right?
I can change my patterns.
I can change my patterns.
Just because I started a pattern when I was 13 doesn't mean I can't change it now.
No, true. True, I don't need to keep the same patterns I had then.
It's okay to focus on myself.
It's okay to focus on
It's
myself.
okay to focus on having a good life.
It's okay to focus on having a good
I was
life.
a good older sister to my brothers.
I
Boss
was.
them around. I controlled them a little bit. Basically, good.
I was a good sister.
Sister.
I was a good
I
sister.
was a good mother.
I'm still
I
a
am
good sister
mother.
and a good mother. I was a great mother.
I was a great mother.
Yeah.
So those days of needing to control my kids and needing to constantly be there, those days are over.
Yeah.
Now it's time for them to take responsibility.
Yes,
for
it is
themselves.
time for them. It is time for them. I can't save them.
I can't save anybody.
No, I just have to look after myself.
Now it's time for me to look after me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taking a deep breath and exhale and say peace.
Say peace.
Peace. Now when you look back on this episode when you were 12 or 13 years old in the kitchen, what are you seeing?
In terms of my stress, or
Yeah, so in terms of the picture, because it was a picture before, is the picture still there?
yeah, it doesn't seem to be as bright.
Okay, I'm just going to ask you, is it in color? Or
It was in black and white, actually.
It was in black and white?
It was in black and white.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want you to take that picture and I want you to fade it right out. And if the picture's here, I want you to move it out in your mind. And I want you to fade it right out to just shades of gray. Okay?
Mhm.
And I want you to take the picture and move it to your left in your mind. And I want you to take it and move it to your right. in your mind, right? And then move it down in your mind, and maybe mentally take a match, set a match to it,
Yeah, set fire to it.
until it's nothing but ashes.
It's gone.
Is it gone?
Yeah. Yeah, burnt up.
Burnt out. So when you think back now on that episode, is there any emotional intensity attached to it?
No, I would say no. And really, was I attaching more emotional intensity to it because of what I thought I should feel, or was it really, it had to have been that bad, I would think, seeing that.
Well, I think that seeing your mother about to be attacked by a violent man would be pretty emotional.
Yeah. Yeah.
Incidentally, that tendency, I see it all the time with people I work with, to minimize it later.
Okay.
It used to frustrate me when I started doing this work, but now I see it as very, very healthy.
And probably normal, right?
It's very healthy.
Because you're going, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Well, good that it wasn't that bad. Now it can stop controlling my life.
Yeah.
If it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But we're going to go one step further, and we're going to replace that memory with a really happy memory. It can be something from your past that was really, really happy. It can be something now that makes you really, really happy. What comes to mind?
It doesn't have to have my father in it,
No.
because there really are no happy memories with
It does
him.
not have to have.
Um,
And by the way, all these memories with your father should be dealt with at another time.
yeah.
And they can be dealt with just as easily as we just did that one. And probably if you did 4 or 5 of them, it would be gone.
Yeah.
Okay. No, the happy memory can be anything. We're just going to replace that tree
Right.
with something happy.
Right. Well, do I have to say what it is, or what do I love?
Me to help you. But you don't have to say what it is. We can tap it in. Just
You know what? Isn't it all? I can't think of anything that makes me really happy. No,
In
I
the
can't.
past, what made you really
Maybe the birth of my children,
All
as
right.
painful as it was,
Think
but
back to the birth of. You think back to the time, like the birth itself is painful, but then the emotions take over and it's joy. Right?
Yes.
So think back
yeah.
to whole.
I would say I enjoyed the birth of my son more so than my daughter. And he was
Okay.
second born, so I would say that was a happy time.
Okay, so go back to that time
Mm-hmm.
and the joy that you felt holding that little baby.
Mm-hmm.
That supreme joy of looking into that little baby's eyes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
this joy. And just really call that picture up and see yourself looking into this little baby's eyes. That joy. Side of the eye. This is what I'm entitled to.
Yeah.
Under the eye.
He's a cherub.
This is what I choose to have more of in my life.
I choose to have more of that.
The joy of my
Joy.
children, not the responsibility
Hmm.
for my children.
Joy of my children, not a responsibility. That's a good comparison too.
I choose joy over responsibility.
I choose joy over responsibility.
My first responsibility is to me.
My first responsibility is to me.
If I'm happy, people around me will be happy.
If I'm happy, people around me will be happy.
And that is a really positive way to contribute to people's lives.
And that is, well, it is a really positive way to contribute to people's lives.
I don't have to save people.
I don't have to save people.
Through my own happiness, I can make people happy.
Through my own happiness, I can make people happy.
This is my choice.
This is my choice.
This is my decision.
This is my decision.
This is how I'm going to live my life.
This is how I'm going to live my life.
Stress-free.
Yes, stress-free. Stress-free.
Carving out the time my business requires.
Yes, working on what I have to work on with my business.
Working what I choose to work on.
Working on what I choose to work on.
Being a person who takes on responsibilities when I feel it's right.
Taking on responsibilities when I feel it's right.
And doing what makes me happy.
And doing what makes me happy.
Taking a deep breath. And exhale. And
peaceful vision or a joyful vision.
You have another joyful
I
vision?
said walk. That just reminded me. I feel a lot of joy when I'm out walking my dog.
Okay, so tap that into.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. That's probably my favorite now.
Okay.
Just the joy of being outside in nature, walking.
Okay. Sorry with that. So whenever you're feeling stressed, you can bring that memory back,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
And get it, because it's all what we do in our own heads.
Yeah. True. True.
It's all what we do. The only thing that exists is this present moment.
Yeah.
I can make this present moment wonderful by focusing on what gives me joy,
Yes. Or I can.
or I can make it miserable by remembering something that caused me pain.
Right.
My choice.
So I need to focus on good memories, joyful memories.
I choose to focus on
I choose to focus on joyful memories.
from this moment on.
From this
All
moment
about
on,
joy.
it's all about the joy.
It's all about the things that give me joy.
It's all about the things that give me joy,
And that's how I will serve others. I will be joyful
and that's how I will serve others. I will be joyful.
because that is my nature.
That's my natural state.
That's my natural state. And I want more of my natural state.
I want more of my natural state.
That's what I bring to people.
That's what I bring to people.
That's what I bring to the world.
That's what I bring to the world. Joyful, natural state.
Mm-hmm. Taking a deep breath. Peace.
Peace.
So now when you think back on the stress of taking on other people's ills,
Your situations?
what's the level of emotional intensity, negative intensity?
Probably 0. Because I just need to look after myself, right? Doesn't mean I can't empathize, but I don't need to save them. I just have to learn to sit back and let it happen, right? So, no, I guess I'm just torn between not being responsible enough and being responsible and looking after myself. It's the fine line.
Okay, I'm still torn
I'm still torn
between
between
being responsible,
being responsible for me and being responsible for other people.
and what is it about that? Where is that emotion?
Where's the line? Where's the line I draw?
What is the emotion? Is it confusion? I don't know if confusion is the
No,
emotion, but what's coming
it's
up?
just, well, I keep saying responsibility, but there's another word.
Give me a feeling word. What feeling comes up?
Almost like I feel that I'm not a good person if I don't want to help other
I
people.
was just going to say, let go of the belief that I'm not a good person.
Let go of the
By the way,
belief.
how true is that statement? I fear I'm not a good person if I don't help other people.
It's probably very true.
On a scale of 0 to 10.
Probably an 8.
Okay, let it go.
I am a good person.
I release and let go of the feeling
I release and let go of the feeling
that
that
I'm not a good person.
that I'm not a good person.
If I'm not sacrificing
If I'm not sacrificing
things that I most want,
things that I most
my
want,
freedom,
my freedom,
the ability to use my money the way I want to use it,
my money, my health, my time, it's all fine.
Let
I'm
go of
still a
the
good
feeling
person. Let go of the
that
feeling
I'm not a good
that I'm
person,
not a good
if
person.
I'm not sacrificing
If I'm not
the things
sacrificing
that make my life worthwhile.
things that make my life worthwhile.
Let do under the eye.
Okay,
Release and let it go.
I'm a good person
I
even when
choose
I'm
to
not
let it go.
sacrificing. I choose to let it go.
I'm perfectly safe to focus on myself
I'm perfectly safe to focus on myself
and indirectly help other people
and indirectly
by
help other
making
people
myself happy.
by making myself happy.
Let go of the feeling I have to sacrifice, or I'm not a good person. What's coming up?
No, it's interesting because I think it's dead on. I think subconsciously that's it. That, somewhere I think if I'm not sacrificing, I'm not a good person, which is
Let go of
odd.
the sacrifice.
I need to let go of the need to
Let go of the need to
sacrifice.
sacrifice. Let go of the need to sacrifice.
Letting go of the need to sacrifice.
Let it go. There's no way I can atone for the world.
No, I can't save the world.
Yeah. Who am I to think I can take on everybody's problems?
Yeah, who am I to think
everybody's problems.
who am I to think that?
I got my own stuff to deal with.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Let go of making excuses for sabotaging my own happiness. For others.
Yes, no more excuses for sabotaging myself for other people.
Let go of self-sabotage.
No self-sabotage.
Let go of the need to control.
Let go of the need to control.
Let go of the need to control.
I'm letting go of the need to
Let go of
control.
the need to feel good through helping other people.
I need to feel good through helping other
Let
people.
go of the need to feel good.
Oh, let go of the need of feeling good when I'm helping other people.
No, it's okay to feel good when you're helping other people, but let go of the need to feel good. You can feel good without helping other people.
Oh yeah, I guess
You
that's
can feel
true.
good.
I can feel good without
sacrifice.
I can feel good without sacrifice.
Yeah.
I can feel good without sacrifice.
I can feel good choosing when and how I'm going to be of assistance to other people.
Yes, that gives me a lot of power. I can choose when and how I can be assistance of other people.
Yeah. I can do it through my choice.
I can do it through my choice. I can do it through my work. That's what I do now, is I choose to help them at my convenience, which is still helping them, right?
Absolutely.
So I choose to help them at my convenience.
I don't need to sabotage my own success.
I don't need to sabotage
My own happiness, my own life.
I don't need to sabotage my happiness,
My
my
health.
life, my health, my success.
Time for me to commit to me.
It's time for me to commit to me.
Taking a deep breath. This belief that you have to be constantly giving to other people, you have to help them sort out their lives, you have to rescue them financially, you have to rescue them to providing a home, time,
Right.
your health. How strong is that belief now?
I'd say 0.
Oh,
I think it's just figuring out, too, that it's okay.
I'm okay to life.
I'm okay to live my own life and not be responsible for other
I'm
people.
okay to live my own
I'm
life.
okay to live my own life and not be responsible for other people.
Side of the eye. I'm okay.
I'm okay to live my own life and not be responsible for other people.
Under the eye.
I'm okay to live my own life and not be responsible for other people.
I'm okay to let my kids really grow up and be adults and not need me to save them.
I'm okay to let my kids be adults and not have me save them.
I'm okay to not have to save the world.
I'm okay to not have to save the world.
I'm still a good person if I don't save the world.
I'm still a good person if I don't save the world.
No one can save the world.
True, no one can save the world.
No one can save anyone else.
We can only save ourselves, right?
I can only save myself.
I can only save myself.
I'm only responsible for me.
I'm only responsible for me.
I'm responsible for my own happiness.
I'm responsible for my own
Under
happiness.
the eye. I'm responsible for my own health.
I'm responsible for my own health. I'm responsible for me, not responsible for anyone else. They can look after themselves.
Deep breath. Exhale. Tell me how you're feeling.
Good. I feel relaxed. It's almost like a little yoga session.
That's right, you're a yoga instructor.
I am. Now, what time is it? Sorry to interject here now. It's not.
It's 11:32.
Oh, okay. Okay. I've got lots of time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I feel good.